Good morning children. Welcome to today's biology class. And today's class we are going to study about the two topics. The first topic is how the sex of the baby is determined, and the second is hormones other than sex hormones. Okay, let me repeat. The first topic is how is the sex of baby determined, and we can also call that it's gender determination. And the second topic is hormones other than sex hormones. Okay, yes. Let me start the first topic, that is how is the sex of baby determined. Okay, yes. So we can start like this. Either in the fertilized egg or in a zygote, there is an information determined organelle that is called as chromosome. This it will be just like as a thread-like structure, okay, and you studied in the previous topic, and the nucleus of every cell has this the 23 the pairs of the chromosomes. Okay, you also know that the chromosome is useful for the inheritance of the parental characteristic features. Okay, yes. How many pairs of chromosomes are there? 23 pairs of chromosomes. Out of this 23, 22 pairs will call it as autosome, and one pair will call it as sex chromosome. Okay, 23 chromosomes. Out of that, the 22 will call it as the autosomes, and the one pair will call it as sex chromosome. Okay, yes. So how this one pair of the sex chromosome is established or shows its work? Okay, in females, they have one pair of chromosomes, X and X, and these chromosomes, if you see that both are matched chromosomes, and we can also say that they are homogeneous. Okay, and say in males, there are the X and Y chromosomes. So these two are mismatched chromosomes, or we can also say that they are an heterogeneous chromosomes. Okay, yes. Let's come into this unfertilized egg. Unfertilized egg, it has only the one X chromosome. That is unfertilized egg, in the sense we can say it is a female gamete. The female gamete has one pair of an X chromosomes. But whereas coming to the sperm has the two sets, two different kinds of the chromosomes. One is X chromosome and another one is an Y chromosome. Okay, yes. So now how this fusion of this chromosomes takes place during the fertilization process, that we'll study now. Okay, and so you look this particular picture. If unfertilized the egg receives X chromosome from the father, unfertilized egg, it's already X chromosome. Okay, this X chromosome, just look this particular picture. Unfertilized egg already has an X chromosome. Then from the father, the sperm has X chromosome. If it contributes an X chromosome with this the X chromosome, the resultant product is X and an X, and the newborn baby, it's an baby girl. A girl baby, we can say that, or female. Okay, let me repeat that. If unfertilized egg, already there is an egg X in this. Okay, so the sperm contributes X, so that X is fuses with this X, and then resultant product is an X and X, and the newborn baby is an baby girl. Okay, yes. Next, unfertilized eggs. Observe this particular the right side diagram. Unfertilized egg, it has an X chromosome. If that X chromosome is, in case if the sperm contributes Y chromosome, so the resultant product is X and Y, and so the newborn the baby is an baby boy. Okay, or male, we can say that. So like that, the 22 pairs of an autosomes, it will be transfer from the maternal and an paternal chromosome set, but one pair of the sex chromosome, it will only play a great role for the determination of the gender, either it's a male or the female. Okay, after listening this particular part, after looking this particular picture, and you can guess, or you can understand that the who is responsible for giving the male child. Okay, who is responsible? Yes, obviously the father is responsible for to give the male child. But unfortunately, these days, if the baby girl comes, and whom they will blame? The first blame goes to only the mother. Okay, so that is a wrong notions, and we should not do like that. The scientific reason behind that birth or the gender determination of the children is who play a great role means the males play a great role because they have an mismatched chromosomes, or we can also say that heterozygous set of chromosomes, and they determined the sex of the human beings. Okay, because they have an X and an Y chromosome, and here the Y is the dominant set of the chromosome, and that particular one is if the sperm contributes the Y chromosome to the unfertilized chromosome, it's an X, and so we'll get an X and Y, and the baby born is male boy. Is it clear, children? So in such a way, the gender determination, it will be occurring in human beings. Okay, the second topic what we are going to learn is hormones other than the sex hormones. I think maybe the title is clear for you. You already studied about the sex hormones, and there are nothing but the male has the reproductive organ has a testis, and testis produce the hormone called as an testosterone. You studied about this in the before topic, how it play a role to develop the secondary sexual characteristic features and the gamete formations, etc. Okay, not only that, and the second one is in the female reproductive system, the ovaries are the female reproductive organs, and they produces the estrogen and the progesterone. Ovaries produces estrogen and progesterone. Okay, other than these three hormones, and we are going to study the some more hormones. Okay, children, please look this particular picture. When you look this particular picture, in this picture it is very clearly it is mentioned that different types of the glands we are seeing that, the location of the glands we are seeing that. And what are these glands called? And these glands are nothing but we'll call it as an endocrine glands. Okay, there is another name for this endocrine glands, and these glands are also called as ductless glands. And these glands release the chemical substances in the form of an hormones. Otherwise, they release the hormones, and these hormones we can also call it as an chemical substances. Where they release this particular hormones mean directly they release these hormones into the blood streams. Okay, and once they reach into the blood streams, and they directed towards to the target tissues, towards to the target site, and there it shows its function. Okay, children, that is about the endocrine glands. In your previous class, maybe you studied about other than this endocrine glands, there are the exocrine glands also, and these of the food material. But whereas coming to this endocrine glands, they release the hormones, and this hormones function is the different in a different hormone, different by the different hormones glands. Okay, yes, that we are going to study very clearly. Okay, first let me explain the start. The gland has the 6 different types of the glands. Okay, just I think first gland I said it's a pituitary gland. Second is the first is pituitary, second is thyroid, and the third is parathyroid. Fourth is an adrenal gland, and fifth is a pancreas, and the sixth is the gonads. Under the gonads, we are going to study about the testis and the ovaries. Along with this, and there are the 2 more glands. One is a pineal gland and a thymus glands. Okay, all these glands we are going to study, and the today class just let me complete only the first 2 glands, pituitary and thyroid gland. The first gland, pituitary gland. Children, look this particular picture. where this pituitary gland is located. The pituitary gland is located in the ventral side of the brain. If you see this particular picture, it is clear to you. The ventral side of the brain, the size is very just a small peanut size of the gland. Okay, the location is the ventral side. Okay, and so it is attaches to the brain. Okay, and we can say that this pituitary gland is also called as a master gland. Why this is called as a master gland means it influences all other glands to carry out its function in a proper and an organized way. That is the reason this gland is called as master gland or master of endocrine orchestra. Okay, we are going to study about this in very clear detail in the class 10. Okay, yes children. And let's come into this pituitary gland. This gland releases more than the 5 hormones, approximately 8 hormones it will be released by this particular gland. Okay, why you are studying about this pituitary gland here is means this gland is influencing all other glands I said. That's the reason there is no doubt these glands are also touches with the other part that is called as the gonads. Gonads are nothing but the testes and the ovaries. They stimulate this particular gland, pituitary gland stimulate. Okay, it stimulates the hormone testis as well as the ovaries. That because of that particular reason, they releases the hormones called as a testosterone and progesterone and estrogen. Okay, how it can do this means how it can stimulate means the pituitary gland nearly release 8 hormones. Okay, this hormone released by the pituitary gland touches with all other glands also. For example, see, listen here. So the pituitary gland produces a hormone called as TSH. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay children, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. LH, luteinizing hormone. Okay, so FSH, LH, these both are useful for the development of the follicles which are present in testes as well as in the ovaries. Because of this development only these hormones like testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, it will be released. Okay, yes, ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, and it acts even on the adrenal gland. Okay, along with that there is an oxytocin and there is a prolactin, and the third one we can also say that is vasopressin. So like that more hormones it will be released by this particular gland as it influences all other glands, and this gland is called as an master gland. Is it clear children? Yes. So here this pituitary gland is connected to the development of the sex hormones. They are nothing but the female or ovaries release progesterone, estrogen, and testes release testosterone. Okay children, that's about the pituitary gland. Okay children, the second gland, just look here. The second gland we are going to study is about the thyroid gland. Look this particular picture children. So where this thyroid gland is present? It is present in either sides of the trachea or the neck region. Thyroid gland is there. This is a big gland, we can say that. See how much big it will be there. Thyroid gland. The hormone which is produced by the thyroid gland is thyroxine. Okay, and it helpful for the conversion of the carbohydrates, fats and then proteins. In case if this thyroxine hormone is less in an adult, okay, look this particular picture children. Adult, mostly the women suffer with this particular problem, and that is called as an simple goiter. I hope you can see the picture how the neck it is. The swelling occurs near the neck region. That is because of the deficiency of this thyroxine hormone which is produced by the thyroid gland. That deficiency results the disease named as in simple goiter in an adults. Okay, whereas coming to the small children, look this particular picture. If you look this, it is clear for you. In small children, the deficiency results the cretinism. The disease named as cretinism. What is called the cretinism? It is resultant the mental retardation, improper growth in the children. Okay, the protruded forehead, Okay, the hair lips, and this forehead, it comes forward. All these are all the abnormality characteristic features because of the lack of this the deficiency of this thyroxine hormone in a small children. Okay, children, that is about the one of the gland is called as an thyroid gland. Okay, children, yes, and today topic I covered how is the sex of the baby was determined, and the second one topic what you learned is hormones other than the sex hormones. Okay, children, that's all for today. Stay safe at home, and we'll meet once again. Bye, children.